I must say, rarely has the political atmosphere been so different in Finland and in Sweden. I can tell you, feminism is definitely not on the top of the political agenda in Finland. I just love being here with so many women and so many men, sharing our urge, sharing our need to fight for women's rights, for all women's rights. Thank you for being here with me. I have waited 20 years. As ombudsperson for minorities, I carry a deep concern about a negligent attitude towards other people's basic rights today. And when minorities are pushed about and away, the women within these minorities have less room to grow on equal terms, not to speak about the possibility for some outgrowing their men. The more threatened a minority experiences its position, the less space there will be for diversity within, and the less freedom of choices and equality the women will have. The Finnish Roma have lived in Finland for hundreds of years. Yet their position in Finland is far from admirable. In the recent Ombudsman's survey on Roma, we found that close to 70% of Roma people have experienced discrimination during the last year. A comparison to the results of the EU MIDI survey from 2009 illustrates that the Roma in Finland experience considerably more discrimination in their everyday life than Roma in the Czech Republic, Africans in Malta, Roma in Hungary, Poland, or Greece. This has indeed come as a surprise to us. For Nordic standards, this is unacceptable. These figures shout out the need for focused policy measures to better include Roma. The benchmark needs to be set much, much higher, and the ambition of true equality in our societies must not be blurred. Our survey on Roma found that altogether half of the Finnish Roma women had experienced discrimination when looking for work during the last 5 years. In immigrant background minorities, the participation of women in the labor market is clearly lower than in immigrant men. Among Roma people, young Roma have higher education and are more present in the labor force. Yet, their experiences of discrimination remain. They report the highest numbers of discrimination in recruitment. The survey on Finnish Roma identified 3 main factors that contribute to Roma's relatively weak labor market position in Finland. 1, lack of education, 2, discrimination, and 3, the position of women. Firstly, the educational level of Roma is weaker than that of the majority population. This is slowly improving, but still, particularly girls from socio-economic weaker backgrounds do not educate themselves when having started families at an early age. Second, also employers hold deeply rooted prejudice against the Roma. However, nearly 90% of the respondents have not filed any complaints against an employer on discrimination. There seems to be a fatigue of fighting, a feeling that real change is impossible. Thirdly, almost 40% of the respondents answered that there are particular problems concerning the position of women within the Finnish Roma community. and more than 60% claim that there is a lack of equality between men and women within the Roma community. Of the respondents, a fifth perceived that the Finnish Roma women's traditional dress is problematic, inter alia, in the context of employment. For one, it is seen as limiting employment opportunities because many employers do not accept the traditional Roma dress as work clothing. At worst, the situation is such that Roma women decline work offers because they would not be allowed to wear the traditional dress at work. Some women, however, decline job offers because they fear negative reactions from the Roma community itself. Accordingly, the issue of Roma women's traditional dress in Finland is also, in fact, a question related to individual rights, of the right to choose a profession of one's own choice without fears of being accused of disrespect of their own culture. In most societies, women are considered to be culture bearers in good and in bad. Women who have strived for equal rights have throughout history been fought with claims of anti-cultural behavior. We have had to break taboos of what is considered to be private, and we have given words and politics to phenomena such as violence against women. We have revealed self-nurturing patriarchal structures in economy when we have reached for leadership positions, claiming equal choice and opportunities. Why would this strive for equality be different when it is about women from ethnic minorities? In the same way, the Finnish Roma women are accused of acting out against their own traditional Roma culture, when in fact using their equal rights to choose education, to choose profession, paving the way for younger women to follow, and then at the same time feeling proud of a stronger Roma culture that can embrace equality between men and women. Here today, we need to make visible that inequality and discrimination of women has always been claimed to be part of valuable traditions. This is no particular feature of ethnic or religious minorities, and no particular feature of the Roma culture. Claiming this has rather been a handy tool of power for any patriarchal structures to use against women, to make them believe that their personal strive for equal powers is somehow against their own family or disrespecting traditional values. Access to work means access to economic independence. We all know that. But it's also a confirmation of being included and accepted into society. We all need to be given the right to belong and the possibility to belong to diverse societies, to working life as well as family. To improve the labor market position in Finland of the Finnish Roma women and all women from ethnic minorities, we must actively combat their discrimination in the labor market. We need to make the discrimination visible, and we need to have policies and concrete measures against discrimination in the labor market, and they will then hence give better results on equality. We need to have more open recruitment procedures, including better information on decisions that will educate us how discrimination can be part of what we perhaps have been perceived as neutral. Last year in Helsinki, just to conclude, I once again saw a miracle happen when active and talented Roma women activists from all over Europe created a network for enhancing Roma women's rights. I saw the spark in so many eyes, and I heard voices full of belief in a better future for themselves a better future for their daughters and for their sons. I saw women empowering each other, believing that the success of women would indeed be key to the survival and prosperity of their Roma cultures in their countries and in Europe. We, the Nordic feminist movement, the women of the North, we can support them by promising ourselves to examine our prejudice and stereotypes on Roma and to fight by their side for their rights, for our rights as women, for human rights for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and I have a small flower for you. Thank you. Okay.